Hi guys, welcome to a Rebo. Can't remember what this tower's called. There's about 5 instruction manuals. You just got to remember when you're buying frames, okay, especially from places like Rebo, you're not buying, well, you are buying a picture as a customer. However, as a shop, you get package 1, monkey bars, package 2, tower, package 3, a different swing type, package 4, this little thing on the back. And then it means you end up with a few leftover bits of wood, because you're meant to have a fence on here, you're meant to have a fence on there, and you end up with a few bits and pieces that are spare and that are floating. As far as you're concerned as a client or customer, you're just buying a picture and you want it to look like a picture, but the shop sells it in packages. So when you get it, it will come in multiple bits and pieces. Now, this is the second time I've been to site here, so it was meant to be planned for a 1-day install. However, we were missing a swing beam, a rope, pack of rocks, and the fabric that comes underneath here. Now, if you want a, I don't know, if you want something that lasts, then obviously this is the classic bridge, okay? It's literally a piece of strap that comes down here with a little tiny screw. Sorry, I'm looking at my finger. Little screw that goes in there, which literally screws into this bit of wood, which is the size of my finger. So that screw somewhere is like halfway up into here, which means when this wood gets wet, it expands, swells, shrinks, moves, wiggles. This screw's going to wiggle a little bit loose, and you might end up with these dropping. I'm going to tell the customer to keep an eye on it, because obviously once you start losing screws from there, you're going to start having slippery wood. I think it's incredible that they're getting away with this. I've never seen anything, well, apart from Wiki, so flimsy, and it literally just goes into the wood and gets crushed behind here, gets clamped. But look, you're clamping the wood with the fabric in it, which means if I get my camera at the right angle, you can see all the screws going through it. What jack is that? No, this is not Rebo, not the sets. I love the wood, in all honesty. Alright, I'm going to be nice. Rebo's wood, great. Quality of stuff, great. In fact, you get metal brackets for the monkey bars and the swing, great. That cargo net, I mean, it is just cheap and cheerful, but you'll find that these ropes, I always clamp ours, which I'm not expecting them to do it, because it's another 5, 6, 7 quid basically. It's a nearly pound something a clamp, and obviously then you have to build it on site. So it's like, that is the best way for a customer to be able to install it, not the best finish for long-term play. The quality of wood is absolutely, like, I love the wood, to be honest. It's properly smooth, properly nice. I mean, the ends of it are a bit rough and ready, but they do give you a little bit of sandpaper. And in all honesty, if you run around it with a little buzz at the end of it, it's all good. And we do it sometimes and take the corners off it and get a bit more, get the ends off and do a little bit softer, rather than just hand taking the grit off essentially. So it's all good. Monkey bars, again, really good. Love the fact that these are metal. Love the fact that they clamp over the top. It means you're not going to get rotting or anything else. Again, rocks, plastic, not the best, but they're up to the standards. Slides, the thing is with all these towers is they all tend to be 1.2 meter decks. So once you're putting a small deck on there, you have to have a small slide, which means small kids. However, they do allow no space up here, so Wiki would have a bar across here, leaving this little gap quite small, literally a 50 centimetre gap. Rebo have left a gap there and left a gap for the bridge, which means you can get bigger kids on. But if you have a small child placed here, trying to work out how to sit down, put their bum there and shuffle their feet onto it, so i.e. a small child, and then you have a child coming across the monkey bars, and you have another child on the clatter bridge, then they're all going to be standing on each other, pushing each other, and you're going to have a lot more accidents. Now, one of our custom towers is the same as 4 of these towers. So this is a double tower. However, if you put these 2 towers together and then times it by 2, that would be how big one of our towers are. One of our towers would also be a 1.5, which means you have a higher slide, higher walls. Our climbing walls are not just little ones like this that come to the floor. Ours would actually go up and over the balustrade, nearly 2 meters. So the climb would actually be almost up to that Rebo sign, which if I stand back here, suddenly starts making sense. Our custom sets, again, are 4x4 inch timber, which is 100 by 100 millimeters. or just under once it's planed. This is probably about 70 something mil. I think it's a little bit less than a 3-inch. So we use like this wood, for example, normally for something like our cargo net bracing, as opposed to an actual leg. Stuff like the roof that doesn't, like, it's just like, I don't know, we use shiplap, so it actually covers and cuts, and then you don't end up with these weird little lumps and bumps that are not quite actually filled in. So you can either use shiplap, which has got a little groove graved into it, but then obviously they are a lot more expensive than just that bit of cladding stuff that you just hammer on the top. So there are different ways of looking at things. I think if you're going to go for cheap and cheerful set, Rebos are great. You do need to have a flat garden, and you have to have small kids. Like, once your kids is going over 5 or 6, I think they're going to find these sets quite limiting, in all honesty. There is a lot to it, and there's a lot of tick boxes, i.e. your climbing goes up. I mean, even our climbing wall, our normal one, as opposed to buying this upgrade thing, would just go up and over higher than that is at the minute, and be wider. The cargo net would be twice that width that you get on our custom ones, but then you're paying double the price. So it very much depends on what you're looking for. I haven't really tried to stand on these sets because they are so small. Even putting the roof on, look, me as a person, I'm stood on the floor, I'm less than half a foot away from the actual peak of the roof. So these are like up to hip height or just over, maybe a little bit. So I always tell people it's a kitchen worktop with like a high juice bottle on there. So if you get that's how big they are. And this platform is basically up to there, is basically a washing machine or dishwasher. So if you had like 2 dishwashers a metre and a bit apart, with a bottle of high juice on the top just to lift it up, that's basically how big these towers are. Once your kids, I mean, I've got a 13-year-old, so this is on the high scale, and sort of a 10, 11-year-old, I reckon he's going to find it hard, but you'd actually have to remove this top one. That gap there between the actual top brace and the top step, it's quite small, in all honesty, because like when you monkey bar, you don't have to go close, because you've got your legs, your body, and then your arm is normally extending up and above your head. So actually higher you go, worse it actually gets for you. So personally speaking, I'd be removing this top bar, but that's not my playset. And then I mean, I don't know, 6, 7-year-old, from this bar here, if they held onto this middle bar, they could probably swing that whole distance. You're not even monkey barring, because you could literally just swing your legs and catch it. You're just basically holding and pivoting on the middle. So they are limited, they are there, they are cheap, they are cheerful, they do the trick. Quality of it is nice. I mean, I'd buy one of these over a wiki any day. So there you go. I'd probably be the larger ones of these are great. There's a lot more drilling out and a lot harder to build than the Dunster house. But I mean, the wood is probably a bit stronger. So if I was going to be buying a flat pack today, I would probably be looking potentially at a Rebo if my garden is flat, and if I have kids under 5 and only looking to have it for a few years. So there we go. That is whatever this one's called. I'm getting a bit bored with this, I'll review stuff, aren't I? But I hope that helps anyway, to look at what you're looking at, to actually see it in real life. That clatter, I think it's called a wobble bridge, not a clatter bridge, because the clatter bridge is there, but I really don't like this fabric. That fabric, once it gets wet in it, look at that as well. It's stuff like that just makes me sad. It's just not thought through. But anyway, there we go. Right, if you're looking for a climbing frame installation, do let us know. Hit us up, Instagram, YouTubing, Facebook, whatever you want to do, climbingframeinstaller.co.uk, and you will find us. Thanks very much.